of the dark side.
Greetings everyone, Wolf here with another episode of Bedrock Minecraft. And here we are at the bottom of the tower section for the spawn point build. As you can see in the background, it is completed. And the way I decided to do this video is definitely different than what I've been doing with it so far. My original idea was I was going to record it, speed it up, and maybe throw some music into it. Unfortunately, it was a little bit longer, so what I decided to do is, instead of me going over the details of the work now after it's completed, I'll do a voiceover as I'm working and building it in place. And here's that build. And here we are underneath the build, and I'm beginning with the underside of the water chute where the fish are located. I'm beginning with upside down stairs to help me identify where the sloping edge is going to be located. And then what I wanted to do is, since I really didn't want to put it in like a square box, I tried getting a little bit of like a detail working here, so I kind of edge in the corner here. Okay, and then from there I'm getting to work on the detail work of just trying to get the underside to look a very specific way without using the same blocks and everything like that. As you can tell, I have to jump here a little bit. So I just want to remind everybody that all this stuff is, as you can see, is done in survival mode. Just as a quick reminder, I do not have cheats on this world at all. So everything you see, I am actually doing in a survival-only world, which anybody can do. This is me just trying to get a little bit lower down on the wall section. So there are plenty of really nice and great creative builders out there, and in fact that's where I get some of my inspiration, by watching their videos. So when I met up with I'm trying to decide what to do here, so that's what you're seeing right here. When I met up with the guys I used to play with, we kind of came up with this thought process that, you know, what we do is what we build, design, and get to work has to be done through survival mode only. So I got into the mindset of making sure that whatever I do is 100% doable in a survivable world, whether it's on a single player or even on a server. So that's why you see, you know, none of my resources are gotten out of a creative menu or anything like that. I literally mine all this stuff out myself. And yeah, see, this is it. If you could probably hear what I was thinking at this point, I'm trying to think of, okay, do I want to go with this look or that particular look, or do I just want to just go, okay, we just put a straight block there and just forget about it. You know, it's like little details that actually kind of add to the builds. Most people probably won't even notice some of that stuff. So and then I basically just said I'll just go with the brick, and then I'll get the stairs here to add like a strengthening connecting piece to the underside. And then what I'm trying to do here is actually a little detail work, so it's just not, you know, straight across like it is. And that's just the andesite walls there. And here we are in the corner trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to fit the corner bracket and the center bracket together, which is the one part that was kind of holding me up from finishing off the legs, legs for actually lack of any better word, from the center pillar. So I'm trying to continue what I did in the middle here with the bridge, because that's where the bridge section is, and figure out, okay, how am I going to connect the outside leg to this center section here. And as you can see, that's where I'm working now. I'm working actually on the opposite side. And this is about where I figure out what to do with connecting those two separate stances together. And yeah, see, I'm looking at it saying, okay, how can I join this up so it doesn't look terrible? And I'm looking at it, and sometimes sometimes I had to see this stuff in my head before I even begin. Other times I don't see it until the build tells me, okay, this is what you're going to do. And sure enough, this is one of those cases where, like, okay, I had an idea where I wanted to go, but I wasn't quite sure, so I was going to let the build tell me, and sure enough, it told me, you know, this. And then, and since I had kind of designed the block section to the left there, as you can see, with the stone, andesite, and that combination there, I was like, okay, maybe I'll continue on this side, but separated by something so we don't get that 3x3 look that just kind of, you know, doesn't have that change up. So here I'm just filling it in, as you can see. So I'm mirroring what I've already done on the front of, well, side front, if you will. And then this is where I'm trying to decide what to use in the center. Now, the color change alone is you know, enough to say, okay, it breaks it up. The only thing is, it makes it too flat here. And that's what I'm thinking right now. So, well, wait a minute, that looks too flat to me. What if I do something different? So I decided to change here to keep the other one so I could take, you know, like a comparison of it. And then just do something that I've done plenty of times before, which is indent it and put a little, you know, stair there to give it a little accent. And it gives it that depth. It keeps the separation, the color change, but it gives it depth. And then that little detail of depth actually adds more character to it than just simply having that flat wall. And of course, this is me now trying to get the pillar down closer to the ground and giving it a slight angle. I didn't want to give it like a roof angle because they would go in too quickly, which is why I dropped it down by one block there. And then here I'm beginning to build a section that's going to be like a wall piece. Now, when I recorded this, I recorded it in several segments, and the total length that I actually had recorded was an hour's worth of video. I ended up cutting this down into the 24-minute segment that it is, so hopefully you'll be able to see, you know, the detail work, and I can try explaining my thought processes as I went along. It took me a lot longer than an hour to go through all this because I had to, you know, I had to stop several times and then, you know, build the platforms and decide what I want to do, and you get around, get all four sides to mirror it and everything like that. So. And right now I'm trying out an idea that I did with the pillar that's next to this one that just holds up the walkway, which is actually to the left. You'll see it in a second, I believe, if I turn around. I don't remember. Come on down here. And that's this filler block. Now I could have left this all empty and put torches and stuff in there, but you know, I didn't want to potentially deal with bad lighting glitches and potential mobs spawning in there, so I just filled it all in. So everything that's on the inside of this, other than the center tubes there, which are actually is a water elevator, by the way, is all filled in with junk blocks. Now, to the left, if you see real quickly there, that was the other pillar that I made. And it's just holding up the walkway. So now I'm trying to decide where to make a little decorative inlay to try to change it up from how I'm doing the corner pieces here. And you know, and some people tell you that the brick or stone and wood combinations don't necessarily always go together. I don't know, I always thought they did. I know a lot of the work I've done with people's houses and stuff, not work there, I'm, you know, working like security work. The mantle work between the wood and the stone is beautifully done, and I've watched stonemasons and stuff with the way they work and how they join certain sections together, and it's just beautiful pieces of you know, wood and stone put together. So it can look nice if it's done right. Of course, that's kind of the key, just making sure that the look is done right. And unfortunately, I kind of get myself a little flat here, and it darkens it a little too much for me. Luckily enough, I see I'm beginning to see it now, so I'm thinking of a different way of looking at that center section here. And hopefully, now that's there, trying to give it some additional color other than the gray and the wood color, and pop it out a little, but it still keeps it slightly dark because of the wood on the inside. So what I'm going to do is change it out, as you can see. Yeah, this is again me trying to think here. Okay. Yep. Take the torch out of the way. There's that little depth detail. Using the upside down stair, you create that depth. Bring in the filler blocks, and then of course laying down the wood. Sorry about the phone, guys. Now, it's still a little dark for me, so what I decided to do here is take oak fencing and put it in there to give it some detail work and to help lighten it up a little, but I kept the wood background so it keeps that little bit of darkness back there. So it's a contrast between light and dark just in that little section alone here. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually repeating a pattern that I used on the pillar next to it. And it's really nothing more than just using the cobblestone walls, and behind it, of course, I use cobblestone wall because you're not going to see it anyway. So you can see a little bit better from underneath. And mirroring it here because I'm going to do a little artsy type stuff right here. And basically, I'm measuring for what I want to do. And what I'm looking to do is actually join together two different types of fence walls. I'm sure you've seen these on builds before. So I'm going to use a right side stair up, cobblestone, and then this is spruce wood, and then of course another cobblestone wall. There's the bottom part section, and then the walls in place. And that just adds a little artistic detail to it. And I repeat it over here because I want to figure out how to get the corner to look without repeating the same feature that I just did, because it's going to repeat on the two sections. So what I do here is I reverse it and use two of the spruce wood and then one of the cobblestone walls, and it's kind of like a tensioner side to the joint, if you will. You'll see that, or you can even say it's like an antenna. Some people use it as an antenna. Now all I'm doing here is I'm continuing the center part down so it matches everything else. I'm trying to make sure that everything matches up and everything, so that's why I constantly keep looking back and forth. And as you can tell, this is just me trying to think of just one side, so trying to make sure I have everything matching is even more time consuming. And unfortunately, what I didn't realize, I actually set the stairs upside down. That's a normal placement reaction from me. I figured out that I was like, wait a minute, I got those wrong, and I do fix it. And it's just me trying to grab the block there. And this is where I noticed, okay, wait a minute, my stairs are in the wrong direction. It's like, okay, time to fix. There we go. And now I'm just trying to lay down a base here so that matches from side to side. I do change this up slightly here. I'll go over that when we get to that section, in fact. Continuing the wall segment down. And that's spruce wood, by the way. That's not the dark oak. That's the spruce logs. With the new texture packs, it kind of looks like the old dark oak. And that's just me finishing off the granite wall section. Now, see what I'm here? I'm noticing that that section right there is actually spawnable, and I'm not going to have any light sources up there. So what I decided to do is change them out for staircases, which are non-spawnable pieces. Alright, so now I'm actually further down on the pillar, getting closer and closer to the ground, and now I'm just trying to lay a base layer of brick along the way here to figure out what the next section is going to look like. So now you can kind of see what the rest of the wall looks like from this point. And then I'm trying to decide, okay, what I want to do now is, even though I was slanting it inward, I'm going to slant a small section of it outward a little bit and start kind of keep getting away from that little squarishness that I have to it. So again, give it that little bit more of a character, so it's not just a flat wall. And now I'm trying to decide, okay, if I'm going to bring one section out, maybe I'll bring another section in, again, to give it that little depth feeling, while I bring a section out to give it more of an angle. So sometimes, like I said, you just have to let the building tell you, what it wants to look like, and you have to look at it and it'll tell you. Other times you just, okay, it is what it is. I begin going here with the wood because I thought maybe I'd continue the theme of the wood coming down the center from what I did above. I don't particularly like it. I mean, it's fine. It looks okay, but it's just, I thought we could do a little bit better, and I do change this out here because I'm right there in the process looking at this. Wait a minute, can I use that somewhere else? And right now I'm thinking, okay, I can probably use the wood here instead of in the middle section, and switch out the middle section for something else. Nice messy inventory, right? So, yeah, that's me like, okay, I think we need to change this out. Trying to find where my axe was. Well, yeah, you got the tools, might as well use them, right? And then, of course, I have to see if it's going to be, what I want here will look good. So I'm going to test it out here, and then I have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do in the center here? Luckily enough, I came up with an idea. So we're going to take the granite, and now see, I'm looking over, that's the tower I was talking about that I'm trying to match a little bit, and I use granite over there. And I did a section in which I actually used granite and granite walls together to create a little bit of depth and design. And that's what I'm going to test here. So that's regular non-polished granite right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the walls to it so that the segments look like they're joined together. That's why I have granite walls, or granite blocks next to the walls. And it creates that little bit of character. See the little seams and stuff like that. And then now I'm trying to decide how to bring the rest of that wall down and hide that granite on that side. Luckily enough, I'm able to get my brain to work. Okay, you don't have no joining block there. That's why I did that. And collect the resources because, hey, we need to. This is survival after all. And I don't have, and I'm by myself, pretty much. Occasionally I'll have one of the family members on, but I'm pretty much doing everything here you see on my own. So I don't have like a huge team. It's a team of me, I, and myself. Now, I haven't used a lot of that in this build. I really should do more with the smooth stone and the smooth stone slab. Now, especially now that we have the smooth stone itself. Of course, you have to cook stone in order to get it. And the same thing with the slabs. You have to cook the stone to get that smooth look. So we have the half slabs with it. Now, I decided to follow through with what I did above. And I do fill in that little piece there with the fencing, oak fencing. See, right here. And that gives it its connectivity to what I did above. Yeah, as I said, I think in the previous video, I love scaffolding. I think it's actually one of the best building materials that Muslims come up with in a long time. It definitely is a very helpful element. I'm trying to think of a way of maybe how can we incorporate in some design works and stuff. I haven't figured it out just quite yet, so that it looks good. Now, of course, the bamboo will, that'll look pretty good no matter where you decide to use it. Okay, alright, where are we at now? Now I'll take a long look. I do a lot of this where I actually come out and take a long look. A lot of that has been cut out. Okay, now I'm finally on the ground, and I want to finish off the bottom section. And once again, I want to try to bring out that little section to get away from that squarishness. So that's what I'm trying to do here. I was originally thinking only just bringing down it, 2 blocks, but I was like, you know what? I don't think that's going to be good enough. So I actually decided, let's see if I can have to bring out the base around, just like what you see right now. So that's exactly what I end up doing. And and it gives a little more depth to the not depth. I'm sorry, a little more thickness to the build. Now here I'm actually using stonework. Finally, actually get into using some stonework in it as well. Right now it's just a decorative element. Well, usually it's mostly decorative anyway, but so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to use as the backdrop of where I'm put the lighting. Not that we really need lighting down here because it's going to be on the ground, but I decided that I'm going to have some of the lighting down here to help light the lower sections. Eventually I'm going to hopefully be changing a lot of that out anyway, and to help with the spawn rates and stuff like that. And right now I'm trying to figure out, okay, well, how am I going to do this? And this is where the lighting is going to go. And instead of using stonebrick, you like to use this, this. I'm trying to remember the name now. I want to say chiseled, or did we change the name of it? I forget. And those are andesite walls, and then of course that's where the lighting comes up. And you have that nice, stone look behind it, clean stonework behind it. And for some reason, it seems so natural to come back to that polished block because it looks so nice next to the brick block. Even with the texture changes, it still looks really good. Now I'm trying to figure out how to turn this, because I know that corner is going to match what I did on the front, but I'm like, okay, now what am I going to do on this corner because it shortens it up slightly. This is where I'm going to put more lighting here. And there'll be a torch that goes there shortly. We're almost done, guys. See, I'm thinking of like, can I carry that around or should I do something different? Yeah. And it's just me like, okay. Just need to do it. After you can only think about this stuff for just so long. It's like, okay, you just need to do this. And I determined, all right, to help with the lighting, I need to put one right in the corner of where those 2 walls come together, and that's what I'm doing here. And that'll help me build the next little section. So I do the wall torch thing here. And then I'm like, okay, need to dig. Now the reason I use cobblestone base is because it lets me know I dig a lot. Alright? And I always try to put some kind of covering around what I dig, so if I dig into something and I see like cobblestone wall or something else, I know, wait a minute, I'm next to a build, well, let me be careful what I'm doing here. Okay, look enough, I change this out. So I do that so I don't accidentally break a build. And essentially this piece here is actually kind of like, alright, this is what you need to do here because you've got all gray down here. There's no color difference. And that's what I'm seeing. I'm also seeing that the stone pillar section right there is just too much stone. So I need a little bit of a change in there. So I'm not using any cracked or any mossy type stone in this. I gotta switch it out with something else. Of course, it'd probably be just as good as you use cracked, maybe, but it'd still have that brick look all the way down. And I was trying to avoid that. I got enough of that with the pillar legs on the walkways and everything as it is. So at least now what I have is a matching line that goes all across the way of that wall. And here's where I decide, okay, what's going to go in there? what's going to change the color for me. And sure enough, I use the granite again. And I don't put anything in front of it. I leave the granite just as it is, as a nice, and it sticks out. See how it sticks, kind of punches out at you a little bit. So, and that's pretty much the entire build at that point. That's the whole tower. Alright everybody, and that's the complete build. As you can now see, I have the center column and the 4 support columns all done and in place. So this build is done. So let's take a quick look at it from the outside so we can all see. You didn't see me build any of this part of it. Alright, don't mind any of this other stuff around. What I wanted to do with this section is I wanted to have the nether brick work, the connection to the nether from the top all the way down. So this column is actually split into 2 sections. It's got the nether, and then it's got the stonework, which matches the middle part here. So let's take a quick look at what I got here on the outside. So I got the lava coming all the way down. We already went through all that stuff. And I basically just continued that look all the way down. I stopped the lava on that side up there. And I can continue down, but I continued the brickwork all the way down to the base. And then on the other side, the brickwork, as we get over on this side, there's the top part which you saw in the video. Alright, where I connected the center and this pillar here. I did add a little touch of the lava on this side right there. Alright, and it's actually matched on this side as well. See? And then I just continue some more, a little bit more detail work. I got into using the stone brick wall section in here to add a little character into it instead of just having the flat stonework like right here. And then the long shot for what we did in the video, showing some of the detail from here. And here's like the arch thing, like that, and that little spanner part. Changing up the color in the brick a little bit. Getting in the corner piece sections. And there's that change in the texture and stuff like that, and matching the wood and everything like that. Alright guys, so this build is now completed. We move on to some of our next projects. I alluded to like it matching the pillar next to it. Let's just take a quick look at this one. This is what I was matching, kind of this look here, where I took the granite wall and block and matched it. That's that section right there. Alright, and that's just a stone pillar. There's really nothing there. Alright guys, that's it. We're going to move on to our next project, which is going to be the ice tray. So, as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Y'all take care now. Bye.